How you doing? My name is Mulder and welcome to our Minecraft Dungeons gameplay tips and tricks part 2. In our Minecraft Dungeons tips video, I'll be taking you through my level 20 characters' weapons, armor, bow abilities, along with what new enchantments I have attached to them. Also, I'll take you step by step on how you can defeat these 3 powerful bosses: the Redstone Golem, Nameless One, and the Redstone Monstrosity. All that and more straight ahead. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. Now let's venture into our Minecraft Dungeons gameplay tips and tricks part 2 video.
Find the Grand Throne and confront the Arch-Illager.
Let's take a look at my level 20 character and what gear I have for him so far. Looking at the bow, I have a power bow that has bonus shot, which allows me to shoot not just one arrow but 2 that homes in on another target doing half damage, comboing that with rapid fire, which increases my bow's overall shooting capacity and speed. Soul Robe that has surprise gift attached to it, which drops a consumable anytime I use a health potion, and burning, which automatically lights any enemy that's too close to me on fire. My weapon of choice is the Stormlander that looks a little bit like Thor's hammer, which has rampaging, which after I take down a mob of enemies gives me a chance to get increased damage output, and Echo, which allows me to swing my hammer twice in one go, doing double damage to my opponent. As for my artifacts, one of them is called Torment Quiver, which attaches itself to any of my bows and arrows, and when I use them, it automatically sends out a wave that can push not only my enemies away, but do damage to them as they're being pushed away. This is very useful whenever you're being surrounded by multiple enemies at once. Ironhide Amulet, which is excellent because it gives me extra armor when I'm surrounded by multiple foes, and Haverster, which collects all the souls of my dead enemies and allows me then to send out a louder explosion to push all enemies around me back, doing heavy damage to them as I do it. These weapons and gear I got throughout my times traveling around the different zones, and believe me when I tell you that these are some items that I definitely recommend you go after and equip these enchantments on if you want to make your playthrough a little easier. Another way how I got some of these items were taking down these 3 bosses. Let's get into how we take these guys down once and for all. Let's start things off with Redstone Golem. Now Redstone Golem may be a bit of a challenging character when you first encounter him. Redstone Golem has 2 basic attacks. The first one, he will slam to the ground and send out energy, in which case he will send out these little cubes of explosion to scatter around the area, where if you step on them, they'll automatically blow up. The other is that if you get too close to him, he'll simply punch you, push you back, and do heavy damage. The best way to take Redstone Golem down is to evade him while he's marching around looking to get you. Once the Golem gets frustrated, he will slam to the ground and begin sending out those little landmines all around him. While he's doing that, immediately make a run towards him and hit him with your melee weapon. It is safe to say that you'll be able to hit him at least 3 times before he'll get back up again and try to go after you. Don't chance it and don't risk going for longer hits, because the longer you stay there with him, the easier it is for him to hit you and knock you back. It's only going to take a few hits of him to kill you, depending upon what level you're at so far. While he's making a run towards you, take out your bow and begin shooting him at a distance. Unless your bow is at a high level, it's not going to do much damage to him, but every little bit helps. Use what artifacts you can to try to blast him and keep him at a distance while also attacking enemy foes in the area. Keep evading him and dodging his movements, and try to avoid any of his landmines that he places on the ground. The more damage you do to him and get closer down to the bottom of his health, the more of those little landmines are going to start popping out everywhere. Evade, wait for him to slam to the ground, run up to him, hit him with your melee weapon, back off, and repeat, and you're going to take him down in no time. Now let's move on to the Nameless One. Now the Nameless One is a necromancer that can summon help onto the battlefield at any time he wants. He has 3 basic attacks. The first is that he will use his scepter to shoot balls of energy at you to where you can have to dodge these things, because even though they are slow, one hit can do massive damage to you. The second is that he can summon skeleton warriors up to defend him and hunt you down while you're trying to get away from him. His third attack is that he will duplicate himself all over the battlefield. These little mini-me's can shoot those little balls of energy from their scepters as well, so try to avoid them at all costs. The best way to take him down is while he's shooting those balls of energy at you, take a moment to stop and fire 1 arrow shot at him and then keep moving. You should be able to get off at least 1 shot towards him before you'll have to move out of the way before his ball of energy tries to hit you. Continue to do this over and over again until the Nameless One stops and tries to charge up his scepter. When he's doing this, he's about to summon a small horde of skeleton warriors. This is your opportunity to run towards him and do some heavy melee damage. He definitely takes a lot more damage from melee than from your bow and arrow, depending upon what level you're at and what level your gear is at as well. Once he summons the skeleton warriors, immediately back off from him and get the skeleton warriors away from him to chase after you. That way you can take out these skeleton warriors without worrying about him jumping into the fray. He will charge up his scepter a second time once he summons the skeleton warriors. Don't bother going after him at this point, because this is the point where he'll break off and make a bunch of mini-me's of himself, and he'll be shooting multiple balls of energy at you. So we take out all of his skeleton warriors and wait for his little mini-me's to disappear. This battle will get more intense the lower his health gets as well. His skeleton warriors carry shields and swords, so they can be a little tricky to take down, but so long as you separate them from him in the midst of the battle by running to the edges of the map and let the warriors chase after you, you should be able to take him down no problem. Continue to repeat all this and he will be dead in no time. Now for the final boss we're going to talk about is the Redstone Monstrosity. Now the Redstone Monstrosity is a supersized version of the Redstone Golem, except this time around he's a little bit slower and he has different types of attacks. The first, because of his slow speed, he's actually a lot easier to hit with your bow depending upon what level you're at to hit and do more damage to him than your melee weapon. Try to avoid getting too close to him. He'll lift up his fist and slam the ground, where if you get caught in it, it'll do massive damage to your health, and depending upon what level you're at, it could automatically kill you. Use your bow and any type of range artifacts you have to hit him from a distance. He'll begin to summon these little lava cubes that, if they get too close to you, they'll do massive damage to you. Use with any type of crowd control weapons that you have, and this is the one time you can use your melee weapon. Around the battlefield, you notice these forges planted in the ground. These forges are excellent for taking out those flame cubes that chase after you. Keep in mind that when you activate one of those forges, it's going to take a little bit for that thing to charge, so try to stay within the vicinity so the enemies can take damage when it explodes. Continue to use your bow and any range artifacts you have on the Redstone Monstrosity, and only use your weapon and crowd control abilities on those cubes. Continue to keep your distance and use those forges to your advantage, and you will take down the Redstone Monstrosity in no time. And there you have it. That's our quick look at not only my level 20 character, but how you take down the Redstone Golem, the Nameless One, and the Redstone Monstrosity bosses. I hope you enjoyed our Minecraft Dungeons Tips and Tricks Part 2 video today. We'll be doing a Minecraft Dungeons gameplay tips and tricks Part 3 video very soon, so be sure to stick around for that. As always, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.